tell us how and when you came to Christ, and then how you chose to enter full-time ministry.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be teamed up with you guys again. I know you guys came to our conference back in November. It was awesome. I've been tracking your guys' stories and leadership and writing for years, so really appreciate it. My story, that was what you asked, right? Where the beginning was. So grew up in a Christian home. My parents worked for Youth for Christ for a number of years. So they actually were support-based, did all that high school ministry. They also were at a small Christian college in Michigan and started a ministry there that we always heard stories of. It grew to 60. It was like, out of their kind of the church plant style. And of the 60 some that were there, we always heard the stories that I think all but two ended up in full-time vocational or bivocational ministry in some way as a result. So kind of have it in our roots, had missionaries in our family heritage and stuff. So coming into the middle school age, it was right between middle school and high school. I actually accepted Christ when I was 4 years old. Don't remember all the details. The story was a missionary came and spoke on like a Sunday evening service at our church, and I usually slept, but this one I listened the whole time. And my parents were like, "That's odd." And then we went home and I had all these questions, and the gospel made sense and I embraced. So at 4 years old, I just don't ever remember not having a relationship with God. That's kind of the oddity for me, is like, I just knew Jesus was my friend. He's there, he's real. And then when I was going into high school, about 14, 15, I felt like I was at a service and the pastor took the stage, and I felt like the Holy Spirit said, "I want you to preach." And it wasn't in the moment. It was like, "I want you to be a preacher," which means you're going to be a pastor. And in my head, I was like, preacher means pastor, means church for life. And at that point I was like, no, thanks. And so I literally on the spot rejected the call and ran from God all the way through high school. Got into all kinds of stuff. The Lord wouldn't stop pursuing me. And through that, his grace overwhelmed me to where when I graduated the summer between high school and college, I was at a summer camp, and the whole morning service, the Lord was just kind of ringing my doorbell, knocking and saying, "Hey, why are you still running? Are you done yet?" And I was overwhelmed with going, after all that I just did for 4 years, why would you still want me? And I was just broken and came to Christ when I got to college, got plugged in with a ministry there, had a bit of a rough fall with partying and other things, but the Lord used that to kind of call me out and be like, "You're either going to run this race or not." And some of the people that I was in ministry with over the summer at the camp, they were rock climbing, which became my huge thing. I was really into outdoor wilderness, backpacking, all kinds of pursuits. So got into rock climbing a lot. They just happened to be a bunch of his housers too. So they invited me to the winter retreat in the UP, the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, in the middle of winter. And so with his house in the UP in the middle of winter, they offered a baptism service. In that moment, I felt like God was saying, "This is your next step," and got baptized under the northern lights outside in a horse trough. So it was awesome. And it's just been nonstop since then. Like God, following him and leaning in, I felt like, okay, do I go to a Bible college? The Lord led me to New Hampshire, met amazing people, ministry, ended up, like you said, doing seminary later, but it's been pretty phenomenal. And the college years, and like you said, his house, InterVarsity, Campus Crusade, and local churches, both in Michigan and in New Hampshire, all played huge part in my development and vision for what I do today.